Imagine waking up on the very first morning of the year 2026. You open your eyes, look outside the window, and what you see no longer looks like the familiar world of 2023. The streets are filled with electric cars quietly gliding through, self-driving taxis picking up passengers without human drivers, and delivery drones humming in the sky. Giant billboards are no longer static. They are holographic, changing according to who walks by, analyzing your preferences in real time. Skyscrapers are coated with solar glass panels that generate energy, and wind turbines spin gracefully on rooftops. The air feels cleaner in some places, but surveillance feels heavier everywhere. Smart cameras, biometric scanners, and artificial intelligence systems are silently tracking movements. Welcome to the world of 2026, a year that is not as distant as 2050 or 2100, yet radically different from what most people imagine today. This is the year when the seeds of transformation already planted begin to bloom. And in this video, we will uncover what no one tells you about 2026. The first major transformation by 2026 will be the omnipresence of artificial intelligence. In just a few years, AI has evolved from chatbots and assistants into autonomous systems integrated into daily life. By 2026, artificial intelligence will be managing hospitals, schools, courts, and companies at levels unimaginable a decade earlier. Doctors will rely on AI diagnostic tools that detect diseases faster than humans. Judges and lawyers will use predictive algorithms to analyze precedents and risks. Corporations will depend on autonomous financial advisors that track global markets in real time. What nobody tells you is that AI in 2026 will not simply be a tool. It will act as an invisible co-pilot for humanity, shaping decisions we barely notice. The job market will reflect this shift. Millions of repetitive office tasks, accounting jobs, and even customer service positions will be automated. But new roles will appear in areas like prompt engineering, AI training, and human-machine collaboration. Workers will need to adapt quickly. By 2026, the most valuable skill will no longer be memorization, but adaptability. The ability to learn new tools and reinvent careers constantly. Countries that fail to retrain their populations will face growing unemployment crises. And what nobody tells you is that the gap between those who master AI and those who fear it will grow dangerously wide, creating a new form of inequality. In education, 2026 will be remembered as the year when the traditional classroom faces its greatest disruption. Virtual reality headsets and augmented reality tools will be commonplace in schools. A student in Mexico could walk virtually through the streets of ancient Rome, while another in India could explore the deep ocean in an immersive simulation, all without leaving the classroom. Teachers will remain, but their role will shift from lecturers to guides, curators of learning experiences. AI tutors will personalize lessons for every student, adapting pace and style. Yet what nobody tells you is that education in 2026 will also reflect economic inequality. Wealthy schools will provide immersive learning worlds, while poorer communities may struggle with basic access to devices and connectivity. The digital divide will transform into an immersive divide, shaping opportunities for decades. Medicine in 2026 will make headlines with extraordinary breakthroughs. Genetic therapies will treat conditions once considered incurable. Cancer treatments will be more precise, targeting tumors with nanobots or personalized medicine tailored to DNA. Wearable devices will monitor vital signs 24/7, predicting strokes or heart attacks before they happen. Hospitals will use robots for surgery with almost flawless accuracy. But what nobody tells you is that medicine will also become a battlefield of inequality. Those who can afford advanced treatments will live longer, healthier lives, while others may still face overcrowded hospitals and limited care. Longevity will increasingly become a privilege, and 2026 will highlight that tension. In the global economy, 2026 will mark the acceleration of the transition to renewable energy. The world will finally begin moving away from fossil fuels at scale. Solar and wind energy will dominate new installations, while nuclear fusion projects will generate headlines as experimental plants achieve milestones. Electric cars will represent a huge portion of global sales. Cities will expand networks of charging stations, and oil-producing nations will feel the economic pressure. What nobody tells you is that this green transition will not be smooth. Millions of workers in coal, oil, and gas industries will lose jobs, triggering regional crises. Political conflicts will rise as old energy empires collapse, while new ones are born around lithium, cobalt, and rare earths essential for batteries. The climate crisis will be visible everywhere by 2026. Stronger hurricanes, devastating floods, and record wildfires will dominate the news. Coastal cities will spend billions building defenses against rising seas. Insurance companies will begin refusing coverage for entire regions at high risk. Agricultural zones will shift, forcing farmers in some countries to abandon traditional crops. What nobody tells you is that climate change will not be a future scenario. It will be a daily reality in 2026, and nations that ignore it will pay a heavy price in both lives and money. In politics, 2026 will be an explosive year. Digital voting will start to replace paper ballots in several countries, promising faster results but raising questions about hacking and trust. Populist leaders will continue to use social media and artificial intelligence tools to manipulate narratives and polarize societies. Deepfakes will create chaos during elections, as fake videos and speeches spread faster than they can be fact-checked. What nobody tells you is that democracy itself will be under stress. Not because people stop voting, but because it will become harder to know what is real. The geopolitical landscape in 2026 will be shaped by rivalry between the United States, China, and emerging powers like India. The US will struggle to maintain its dominance, while China expands its influence in Asia, Africa, and Latin America. India will use its demographic and technological growth to demand a stronger role in global decisions. Russia will remain unpredictable, leveraging energy and military power. What nobody tells you is that the world in 2026 will no longer be unipolar. Instead, it will be a battlefield of competing powers, with alliances shifting rapidly. Meanwhile, in daily life, 2026 will feel both exciting and unsettling. Homes will be smarter than ever. Refrigerators will automatically order groceries. Voice assistants will manage bills and appointments, and security systems will use biometric recognition. Autonomous taxis will reduce accidents in big cities. But what nobody tells you is that all this convenience will come at the cost of privacy. Every action, every purchase, every movement will be stored in databases. People will trade freedom for comfort without fully realizing it. In culture and entertainment, 2026 will bring a revolution. Movies will not just be watched. They will be experienced through VR, where viewers can step inside the story. Concerts will be holographic, with millions attending virtually from anywhere in the world. Video games will blur further into reality, becoming alternate worlds where people spend hours working, socializing, and escaping. What nobody tells you is that the line between real life and digital life will become so thin that many will lose balance, preferring the digital world where they can be anyone they want. By 2026, space exploration will also be part of daily headlines. Private companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin will run frequent missions to orbit, carrying not only satellites but also tourists. The dream of colonizing Mars will still be far, but moon bases and asteroid mining projects will move from science fiction to reality. Nations will compete for dominance in space, just as they do on Earth. What nobody tells you is that space in 2026 will no longer be a peaceful frontier. It will be the next arena of geopolitical and corporate competition. As we step back and look at 2026 as a whole, we realize that it will not be a utopia of flying cars and instant cures, nor an apocalypse of collapse. It will be a complex blend. Dazzling progress in some areas, deep inequalities in others. For some, it will feel like living in the future. For others, it will feel like being left behind. The truth that nobody tells you is that 2026 will be remembered not as the year everything changed, but as the year everything accelerated. The technologies, crises, and trends already shaping 2023 will explode into visibility. The future will not arrive all at once. It will creep into our lives step by step until we suddenly realize we are living in a new world. And now it's your turn. How do you imagine the world in 2026? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Your vision might inspire our next video. Don't forget to subscribe to Future Key, turn on notifications, and share this journey with others. The key to tomorrow is already here, and together we are unlocking it.